What was it that made you decide to speak out?
If I can save one person by having the guts to speak out, there's Clare's Law that not many people have heard about, and I just want to get it out there that even if it's a gut feeling or another family member, you can actually go to a police station and they won't give you that information direct. But if somebody has got a violent history, they will get put in touch with the person concerned and put it to them. They've then got a choice that they can get out of that relationship before it even starts.
And you had no idea that your husband had a violent past?
None at all.
And in fact, you'd had a good marriage.
Yeah.
He came in late one night, having had a very long day. He was a lorry driver. And then what happened? You were watching the telly, and what happened?
I was chilling out. I'd been to work, had a really good day. He came home from work, but the minute he came in the door, there was something different about him. I don't know what it just was. He looked at the telly and said, "I'm not watching this." And then he took the dog out for a walk because he was obviously in a mood. I just carried on watching the telly. He then came in after speaking to my son outside. I went to hold his hand and I pulled mine away and he wasn't happy about that. There was definitely something different about him. About 9 o'clock, he went to bed. As he got to the top of the stairs, he said something. It was something and nothing, it was just tit for tat. And I said, what did you say? And then I thought, you know what, I may as well just go to bed myself, call it a day. Got in bed, and it sounds silly, but I was giggling because we'd only been married 8 months and we had our backs to each other, so I was giggling a bit.
Trying to bridge that gap.
Yeah. And then I said something, and as fast as I said it, he turned round and he had his fists like this to my face. No one in my family would put up with domestic abuse in any way, shape or form, and I just thought, oh my God. And got out of bed and I went downstairs, I let the dog out, and I got a really bad gut feeling. Couldn't tell you what it was just a gut feeling. So I opened the front door, which we usually leave locked, and then I went upstairs and I thought, no, he's going to have to go, I need to pack a bag. But you're thinking all sorts at that point.
So he hadn't hit you, he'd just shown you his fist?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then I packed a bag and he did tramping because he was a lorry driver, and I'd rolled up the sleeping bag in the top of it, velcroed it up and threw it down the stairs. There was closed for like 4 days. And then I just stood there looking at him, and then he just pulled the cover over and he walked over to me. I thought he was going to give me a hug and say, you know, enough's enough now. And he didn't. He put his head right back and gave me the biggest headbutt right across my nose. I staggered like to the floor, my legs went from under me, and then as fast as that happened, he put his hands around my throat and he just strangled and strangled and strangled. I just let my hands flop. I just couldn't breathe. It was horrendous. And then just as my hearing and everything was going, he let go of the grip. And then I stood up and I was absolutely shaking. I was like, and I just said, what are you doing? I've got kids, I've got grandkids. He never spoke. His eyes were very, very dark. He never, ever said a word. And then he just looked, he said, I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to kill me.
And did you really believe at that point that
absolutely, yeah. My thought then was, oh my God, how am I gonna die?
He tied you up as well, didn't he?
Then what happened is I was really thirsty because he'd strangled me so severely, and I remembered I'd left the front door open, my gut feeling. So I said, I need a drink. We went down the stairs, but as we went down the stairs, he went first just staring at me. He never took his eyes off me at all. And then as we got to the front door, I opened it with my left hand to go out. He grabbed me with his left hand, and as I turned round, he was a small guy. He had quite muscles on him with what he did with work. And he just gave me the biggest punch, completely split my lip. And then that was it. After that, it was punch after punch after punch until he knocked me unconscious.
So did he just suddenly change? Was there any signs that he was that sort of person?
I'd lived on my own for 24 years before this, so I'd brought my kids up and everything, and they were okay with their lives and settled in their own kiddies. I had dated, but never took that next step. He was the first person I took the next step with. But it felt like right in the beginning, and he treated me like a queen. He did the cooking and everything.
You often hear that, don't you, in interviews, that it begins like...
Yeah.
So what happened next?
He carried on punching me, we think, because it sounds awful, but with the amount of blood and everything, we think that he carried on punching me even when I was unconscious.
Did you think, at that point, did you think, I'm not going to get out of here alive? I mean...
When the punches kept raining on me at that point, it just went black. That's when he knocked me unconscious with the amount that he'd hit me.
Then you did the very bizarre thing of telling your son, is that right?
What we can gather and what we've worked out is when I was unconscious on the floor, he's gone in the kitchen, because all the blood prints, he'd walked all the way through the blood, he'd gone in the kitchen, got the biggest knife. We actually think he's put it to my throat, but we can't. You need proof for that, because there was a line going across my throat. And what he did then was turn the microwave round, unplugged it, chopped the wire off, and for whatever reason, we think he thought I was dead. The police thought that. He tied me up and then tried putting me in the sleeping bag that I'd threw down the stairs.
Now, Suzanne, thank God he's behind bars.
Yeah.
And thank you as well. I said right at the start, and when you hear your story, it underlines how brave you are to come on and talk about this.
Yeah.
You mentioned at the beginning Clare's Law. Now Clare's Law it's the domestic violence disclosure scheme, and basically, to go through what you said before, it means if you have a gut feeling about something. If you had been told about his previous history, would you have carried on a relationship?
No, that would have been it. Would have been it. It doesn't matter how much you love someone. Violence is wrong. It's wrong. It's not love.
Thank you for coming on the show.